morning, children. Welcome to your English video lecture. Children, today we are going to start a poem, and the name of the poem is Trees. It's from your book Honeycomb. Okay, here in this video we will be doing the poem where I will be explaining you the meaning of the poem or the details of the poem, and also I will be reading the poem to all of you. Basically, this poem is very simple poem. Okay, so when you will read it by yourself, I hope that most of you will be able to understand that the what poem is, trying, the poetess, she is trying to deliver to us. Okay, so basically, before we get into the poem, before we get into the reading section of the poem, okay, I would like to give you a very small introduction that what in this poem, the poem is basically about the praises of trees, that how trees, they, even though we know that they are important for us, that if I generally ask you that why trees are important, so most of you would say that it's important because it gives you oxygen, or maybe you will say that maybe it's important because it gives you fruits or food to eat. But this is the general use that people notice, right? But here in this poem, the poetess, she has basically praised the trees, that how, even though we know that trees are important, but there are very small and simple things that trees do, or they are actually useful for, which we basically don't notice. Okay, and here basically the poetess, she has put here that the trees, they are the man's best friend. They help you when you grow up. They are with you when you are growing up. When you want to play as a kid, you can hide behind a tree, and when you are grown up as an adult, you also, you are around trees, you love trees, you sit under the trees and you talk with your friends, friends, you want to chit chat with your friends. So the poetess, she has basically put forward that how, as a kid also, and when you are growing up, you are using trees in many ways which we basically don't address as, right? And also here the poetess, she has been, all the time she is praising the trees, that how we are using trees, how we are, they are very useful for us. It's basically, she wants to say that the trees, they are the best friends of man, right? So this is the whole poem that we are going to read. That the poetess, she is basically praising the trees, that how good they are, how beautiful they are. Okay, so now let's start reading the poem. First, I am going to read the poem to all of you, and after that, we will discuss the poem in a whole. Okay, so let's start. Trees are for birds. Trees are for children. Trees are to make trees houses in. Trees are to swing swings on. Trees are for the wind to blow through. Trees are to hide behind in hide and seek. Trees are to have tea parties under. Trees are for kites to get caught in. Trees are to make cool shades in summer. Trees are to make no shade in winter. Trees are for apples to grow on and pears. Trees are to chop down and call timber. Trees make mothers say, "What a lovely picture to paint." Trees make fathers say, "What a lot of leaves to rack this fall." Okay, so this is the whole poem. Okay, now let's start discussing the poem, the explanation of the poem, that what we have read in the poem. So basically, when I was reading the poem, I hope all of you noticed that how the poetess, in each and every line, she is basically putting forward that trees are for birds, it's for human beings, it's for, it's for children also, it's for children to play them, on. So now let's discuss the poem in detail. So while you saw that the whole poem is about trees, so you can say that it's a long catalog of describing the various advantages of trees. In every line, the poetess, she is basically trying to tell you that what are the different advantages of trees. Okay, not only that, she is also telling us that every person who looks at trees, okay, they have different ways of appreciating it. right? It is for various reasons. For children it is there for the for making tree houses. For adult it is to provide food, to to sit under it. And there are very different kind of uses of trees. So here basically the poetess, she is being telling you that what are the various reasons that trees are for, which we basically don't notice, right? So let's now uh, take the whole poem, and now I will be explaining you the whole poem. So here the first two lines, the poetess, she is basically telling us that the trees are used by birds. Okay, they live in the trees. No, they live in the trees, they build their nest on the trees. Trees are used by children as well. How? But we know that birds, they make their houses there, they make their own nest, they live there on the trees. And children as well, they basically love to play. So or while they are playing, they use tree in many different ways. They use tree to and to hide behind it. They use tree to go up there and make their own tree house, their own own small world, where they try to create their own world on trees by making or building their own tree houses. And not only that, they also, children love to play hide and seek, right, behind the trees. And just not that, they also even grows up of having fun around the trees. With the trees they try to play the different kinds of games. For instance, they also swing their swings on them, and they try to play on the swings. They try to play with the swings. And also they have their own tea parties under the shade of the tree. They have their own strong bond with each other. They create their own bond with the trees. They have their tree houses. They have their different games which they play around tree houses. They have their own own world around trees, right? So not the poetess, she is basically telling us that they have their own world around trees, right? And she also says that not just the children, right, not just the children, even grown-ups have fun around the trees. They have their tea parties under the shade of the tree. The strong wind that blows through the tree, it gives them a sense of relief, right, that the wind is blowing. How they are able to understand, or how they are able to get it through the trees, that when the wind blows through the trees, the leaves on the tree, it start moving, okay, which gives them a sense of relief. And during extreme summers, they the trees, they provide you a shade under which you can sit and you can simply relax under it. And during winter, what happened during winter, the trees, it doesn't provide you any type of uh, shade, so that you can have your own sun bath, right? If imagine if the tree, it provides you the shadow, or you can say the shade during the winter, you will not be able to get the sun bath, right? So it doesn't provide you the trees, they doesn't provide you any type of shade, and allows the people to bath in the sun, right? So that you can have that you know the hotness of, so that you can fight with the winter. People get to eat delicious fruits from the trees also. The poetess, she has mentioned that we get apples and pears. This doesn't mean that these are the only two fruits that we get. She basically here is trying to say that all the different delicious fruits, everything that we get to eat, is basically from the plants or trees. Okay, and trees are useful even when they are chopped down. How they are useful when they are chopped down? They are useful in making furnitures, right? So here the word that see this line, children. Trees are to chop down and called timber. Timber are basically the wooden blocks, the long wooden blocks, which we use while making furnitures, right? Those are the woods that we use for making furniture. So not only the trees are useful when they are standing strong, they are useful even when we chop those trees. We use it in different forms to make different kind of furniture, to while we are building our own house, we use different kind of wood materials. So when we cut down or chop down the trees, they are useful at to us at that moment also, Okay, the usefulness of tree, it doesn't, stop, or it doesn't get cut down if we cut the tree. Okay, we get that timber which we use to make the different kind of furnitures. Okay, and to some what happened, trees are so beautiful to, they want to, here the poetess is saying, the trees make mothers say, what the mothers, they basically see the beauty of tree, and when they see the beauty, or they feel the beauty of tree, with that happiness, with that joy, they basically tells the, they basically want to paint the trees. They want to appreciate the beauty of the trees. They want to picturize that, they would love to paint the tree. And not only that, what others, they are profitable as well. Even their shadows leave that shades down, it could be put to great use. For father, that is the main thing that they notice, while the mothers, they are more focused on the fact that they can use they can use their imagination, their creativity, to create a beautiful picture of the trees. Okay, so you see that how the poetess, she is appreciating that what are the advantages of trees. People, they have their different connect, or you can say different, use of trees that they do, that we mostly don't notice, that we are using trees not only for the, part of as our living, but also for different small and very, very unique purposes. That is, children, they use trees for their playing, right? And the adults, they also use trees in different ways. They get their foods from there. They sit under the tree. They have their own, the gossiping, or you can say talking, that they do under the tree, with their tea parties, with their tea sessions with their friends. Okay, and also the poetess, she says that trees are there so that the children, while they are playing with the kite, it could get stuck on the tree, and they get to, climb up the tree, and they could experience that phase of excitement also, which they love to do, the climbing of up on the trees, and they to get down there, kites, while they are playing. And also, she's been telling us in the poem that trees have different uses. When the person is a small child, it play, the person, or the man or a woman, they play around trees. And when they grow up, they have their own sessions with the trees. And even though when the trees, it get cuts off, the use of tree, it doesn't get stopped. We still use tree. That time also, it is being used as timber, which is basically what, to use it in the form of furniture, to make the furnitures that we make, we basically to build the different kind of furniture. So you see here that the poetess, she has put forward that how we use different kind of trees, what are the uses of those trees, and how we are being we are being all into the sections where we, while we are growing up, we use trees. When we grow up, we use tree. And even though the tree is being cut off, we still use tree in the form of furniture, to make different kinds of furniture for our home. And the mothers, they love to, see the trees. They want to picture the trees. They want to create their own imagination with it. And the fathers, they love to talk about it. When the trees are being shed, the leaves are being shed, we can also use those shaded leaves. The use of trees leaves are also mentioned here. So children, this was the poem, and I hope that you all understood it. And I want all of you to write this poem in your notebook. Okay, and with that, you also have to do the 3 questions that are here, first and second, two second questions, both part. Okay, in your fair notebook. Okay children, so here I will be ending the video, and I hope all of you understood the video, and you try to read the poem by yourself. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.